So our fence line is from A to B, and I would normally have a guide wire up there. And my netting, if it's a netting fence, you've got wires coming around in certain places. You need to know where they are to achieve the right position for this. And generally you're looking at centre line or just below. So I may have not cut quite enough angle on that, but what I was hoping for would be around about 2 foot down, 2 foot 6 down. There might be a wire there within an inch and a half of that position. I would find out where that was by measuring the roll, and I would want that sitting 3/4 of an inch below that wire. So in represent, there would be a wire here, but we're just going to guess that today. So that's on my wire line. I come to my position just below that centre line, and I scribe the top with a lead hard on the mark. So these builder pencils have got a gauge to them. So the sides I'll do full gauge. The top I do lead on, and the bottom I do full gauge. And what I mean by that is the width of that pencil, that's a flat plane that you can scribe with. Where that lead is about 3 mil off. So I've effectively made this, I don't know what it is in imperial, but about 5 mil wider than what this actually is. 1/8 of an inch. Okay. And that thing of the taper and everything else comes into play with that as well. So when I finish chiseling out that, I'm going to leave all those pencil marks on there. I'm chiseling inside my pencil marks. When I go to fit that in, it's going to be a tight fit. Strain right chisel. This one's fairly sharp. I had a play with it the other day. This is about their 3rd model. They're quite short in the actual working head now. They used to be a lot longer, and they also had an impact head on them as well, which they don't do anymore. They do this, and we've found this actually really good. I've had no trouble with it, but it is very hard on hammers. You don't want to use a good quality stiletto or something like that in your chisel work, because you'll blow your hammer up. Just get an old cheap, you really want a 22 or a 25, 28, but that's not going to hurt that so much. Doesn't matter if it hurts this. So chiseling pattern, I always start with the side because it's with the grain. I'm inside, come around and have a look, guys. I'm inside the pencil line, and the back of the chisel is the outside. So the taper is always to the inside. That way I'm cutting a nice parallel line. So the taper of the chisel is in. I'm just inside the pencil line, and I'm aiming in slightly. So I'm generally 8 blows on the side, 12 blows on the cross cane. So we're going to go 8. I don't need, that's great, I don't need 8. I just cut those veneers just in case they pop out, and then I come to the top. Once again, the bevel is down and the flat is to the top. Just inside the pencil line. Then I go back to the bottom. I'll quite often split that. Just come up it quickly. See how that wants to split out. Go back to the bottom. Bury that. Pop that out. Back to the bottom. Bury that. Pop that out. Go again. This time I start at the bottom. back up the sides. Across the top. This time, to clear that, I'm going to go midships, take the bottom out. Pick up on the heel of that, pop the top out. And that's pretty much it. Unfortunately, I hurt that veneer, but anyway. So the bottom, you can get away with blue murder with the bottom because it's not really seen. If you do a tight scribe, a little trick, turn your chisel upside down, leave the outside edge alone, just come inside and get rid of that material that's in there without blowing that outside veneer off. So you end up with a lip, and that little lip will then fold in. So if that becomes quite tight, it'll override that lip and let it fold in and still stay nice and firm. So that should sit there, it should bind up. So with that sitting in place, you'll see there's a little bit of a gap showing here. When that end drops, that's going to close up because it's going to hinge down.